This video is going to be a little bit different, with me talking a lot about Kine. Or as her official name is actually Kine de Bordeaux Antique. And her father's name was Kine de Bordeaux Antique, and her mother's name was Erotica. So grandparents was Norton Bordeaux Patro and Ruth Edith. And then great grandparents, she has one Celtic Knight, Georgie Boy, and Gucci. And then, of course, Hooch. And Ruth Edith is the product of Hooch and Mustang Sally. And below there I see Bakersfield style Funky Boy. And Gucci is in there again. So, but there are some other. Cadillac Star is one called. And then there is one dog just simply called Frank. And one honeybee. Bakerville style Full Throttle. Dr. Pepper. So a lot of funny names on her family tree. She was born on the 7th of May 2020. That means that on the 7th of May 2023 she will be 3 years old. When I got her, she was 8 weeks old and weighed 7 kilos. And right now her weight is 47 kilos, and it seems to be quite stable. So I have mentioned earlier about New Year's Eve to prepare, and just a tip for anybody who you have this thing you can use that calms down the dogs. I guess it's too late to buy now, but just an advice. So, as I mentioned earlier, I got her when she was 8 weeks old. To the day, I had to drive all the way down to southern Norway to collect her. A trip took me 2 days, 1400 kilometers roughly. Stayed overnight, both ways. So when I got her, there were a couple of siblings over there as well, and a mother, of course. Both the siblings were males, and since it was 2020, Corona was on everybody's lips, and all of these puppies in that litter was named something with K. Some of them, there was one called Corona Quarantene. C is often a K in Norwegian. And Chaos COVID-19 doesn't need to be translated. And there was one Karen Margrethe, and the Kronprins, and Crown Princess, which is Crown Prince, Crown Princess. And then there was Kine. Apparently, the kennel owner had a niece that was named Kine, and she had asked if he couldn't call one of the dogs up after her, so she did. And frankly, I didn't have any good. I was thinking of some French girl name, but the ones I could come up with were Jeanne d'Arc and Madame Curie, but she was actually Polish. So I started calling her Kine as well. I later remember, of course, there is Brigitte Bardot, but I could call this one Brigitte Bordeaux. But okay, that may be a name for a puppy later on if I have a litter with her. So we went home. She cried and wept for about 15 minutes after we left her mother, and then she calmed down. And on the hotel room, we were friends again. She hid under the bed, and when I looked down under the bed to see what she was doing, she was growling at me. So as we came further north, she got the first touch of snow on the mountain. I just put her in the snow just to see how she reacted, and she was not happy with that white stuff, at least not then. Then we came home. I had already read as much as I could about the breed, and the priority number one was, of course, to socialize her. So starting going trips and let her meet as many people as possible. And there is a built-in street in the city, Bodø, where you meet all kinds of people, also the ones that lives on the shadow side of life. So, but they were very open to her and greeted her. As one of them said, dog never judge people by their appearance. So, yeah, I agree. Then when she was, let me see, 10 weeks, we attended this puppy course over several nights or evenings, and she met puppies her own size or her own age, all kinds. But she was, the biggest of the puppies at that course. Funny thing is, when we were there, one of the instructions had this big German Shepherd, a service dog, and he had him hidden behind some shelves and called him out for some demonstration. And that little puppy took defensive position in front of me and barked at this huge German Shepherd. So that showed the watch guard dog in her. So, but the courses were useful both for the dogs and for their owners. If you didn't know much about dogs, you learned a lot, and for the dogs, they had the opportunity to play along with other dogs their own age. So that went fine, and we continue as often as possible to go to places where she can meet people and other animals as well. She never shown any sign of aggression towards anyone. Well, there was one case that she growled at weather girl on the television. But I have a feeling that I was growling first when she forecast very bad weather. So these dogs are very sensitive to the owner's feelings. Apart from that, she's always been kind, friendly, open-minded to everybody she meets. When you get Dogue De Bordeaux, it's a fairly easy dog to maintain. They don't need much grooming. If you brush their coat once a week, it's probably enough. But you have to clean the gaps in their wrinkles and clean the ears often. I do it daily. I use a product called Otodine, and once a week I use a similar product called Otoact, which dissolves earwax in case there is any. So, and for exercise, we do 2 trips a day normally. Morning from 9 to 10 or thereabout, and one in the afternoon, so she can do her business. And usually her stomach is very regular, so she does what she has to do. They are very easy to house train and get clean. In the beginning, when she was a puppy, she had a tendency to bite her legs, but she never touched any of my guitars. The guitar racks got some beating, but she completely stopped with that. They are intelligent dogs, and but they are not food driven like many other breeds. So I feed her 500 grams of this grinded meat that is specially formulated for adult dogs. Earlier on they had the same stuff, but more formulated for puppies. That's just up to, I don't remember how many months. So they shed twice a year, and then you will find here everywhere, but apart from that there is no big deal. I take her to the vet once a month to have her nails cut. It's not that she minds, but she's big and strong, and it's best to be two to cut the nails. And she cooperates as long as she gets treats. So I usually hold her and comfort her, and the veterinarian do the cutting. So the first year we participated, well, not the first year, but the second year we participated in dog shows. She won, she got excellent on her first puppy show, very good on the next one. Maybe I was a little bit early, because she was the right age the same day as the show for that class, and the judge said that was a nice dog, but she need to develop more muscle, and she has. So this year we have attended 3 dog shows, and she got excellent on all of them 3, and best of breed. So now she is Norwegian champion. So, and we'll see in the future. Maybe I'm thinking about perhaps taking her for a dog show in Sweden next year, or possibly Finland. To go to abroad, you need, of course, a kind of a passport for them. To go to Sweden, the dogs have to be dewormed, and for a trip to Finland, they need to be vaccinated against rabies. So it would be nice if she could become a Nordic champion as well. Her mother and father both are champions, and the mother got first place in a dog show in Madrid this year, a world dog show, and became a Spanish champion as well. So, and I see down the bloodline she has a lot of class ancestors. So maybe next year or the year after that I will try to get a litter, but I have to find the right male. Not necessarily a champion, because that may result in more inbred than wanted. But somebody a dog of good quality. So she is usually easygoing and normally don't go on the table, but I guess the smell from that deodorizer puzzled her. I don't think I need to use it this year for the New Year's Eve, because she seemed very calm, but it's so little left, so I will probably just use it up just for safety. But I don't think New Year's Eve is going to be a problem with her. She is very curious, but she's also very kind. And loves to be in the center of attention. Some months ago I had a couple of technicians here to do a job for me, and when they were filling out the paperwork, they were sitting in the sofa, and she crawled up in between them and demanded to be cuddled. So that's the kind of dog I have. So and when I get up in the morning, she usually occupies my bed for an hour or two before she comes into the living room. But now she's very easy to live with. She doesn't bark much. Only when she's on the balcony and she sees other dogs on the road, she wants to tell them that she's there. Strangely enough, she didn't bark on some mooses that were in my garden. So, but you want to say hello to them as well. So this is Kine then. Yeah.